you had some WWF, I guess, enhancement matches when you first started as well.
Yeah, that's how this started. I mean, you're old enough to remember, kind of, Devin. That's how you used to break in the business. I mean, you certainly didn't start, and then 2 weeks later, you're getting a push wrestling on TV. Like, you cut your teeth, you went up to a school, Mike Sharp would get the call from WWE when they needed extras, and you went up and you did enhancement matches. When I first went up there, it was under my real name, Mike Bucci. I wrestled Adam Baum, Ludvig Borga, the Head Shrinkers, Mr. Hughes, the Quebecers. I mean, tons of guys. And you'd go up there, and it's not Saturday morning wrestling show. So it'd be Wrestling Challenge or Wrestling Superstars. You basically, Kevin Nash, I wrestled a bunch of guys, and it was just like you get to talk to them for 2 minutes, and they tell you what they're going to do to you, and you say, okay. You're the tomato can. You go out there to make them look good. They don't really do that anymore. Every now and then you'll see them try to do it on Raw. And when they do it on Raw, it's not commonplace. So it sticks out so sorely. Like, wait a minute, what's this next? It just looks weird. But, yeah, that's how you started, man. I mean, that's where I first met Gurria and Sarge and Blackjack and all those guys. And sure as hell, 10, 15 years later, when I was back in WWE, every single one of those guys remembered me for when I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that Tony Gurria, hey, the Michael Bucci. I was like, hey, how you doing, Tony? But yeah, man, that's how you started. That's not how it is today. Again, I'm not that's the nature of what this has become. But back then, that was exactly how you got your start.
Did anyone take advantage of you, or were they all pretty good?
They were all good except Ludvig Borga, 1,000%. You go on the WWE Network and type in Ludvig Borga or type in Mike Bucci. This match was 21 seconds old, and not even, maybe 6 seconds into it, he came flying across the corner, clotheslined me in the head, full blast, and he absolutely knocked me out and gave me a concussion right on my feet. I couldn't even stand up. I didn't know what was going on. And when we get in the back, some of the things didn't go there as supposed to, and he's asking me about it, and I said, I don't remember being out there. And he said, oh, well, if you got your belt wrong, and he speaks in a really heavy Finnish accent, you should have told me. And I maybe had a year under my belt at that point. I didn't even know you were allowed to do that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. He was cool. It's just one of those things. It just zigs. I don't think the majority of, and we can go over the litany of injuries I've had, but for the most part, they've all been zig when you should zag. I've always been skilled enough to a degree to where I could always tell if someone was going to be a liberty taker, but I've never been in that situation ever. Even with all the hookers and the fighters and you obviously know what I mean by hooker, right? Yeah, you do. Shooters with tougher guys, even your Benoits, Bobs, Fitz, all these other guys who could do it. They never did. Like, I never gave them reason to. I was never an asshole. I was easy to get along with. I always wanted to work for the match. But there were certainly guys I was in the ring who were dangerous because they just were not good. That's a different category, though. So, but early on, you get your bell rung a couple times. I mean, I saw some of the superstars. I saw Yokozuna pancake a couple guys who were disrespectful. I saw the Quebecers, Pierre bouncing off of guys when they were disrespectful, I guess, or just an accident. But there were definitely some of the dudes there who got clobbered. But sometimes when the guys would hurt somebody, I watched Mabel, Big Vis, and God rest his soul, I love you, Vis. I watched him accidentally clock someone one night in a job match, and he hurt the guy. And then I watched Vis with my own eyes go up to the guy afterwards and palm him $200 out of his own pocket to take care of him because he hurt him.